Can you hear the music? Yeah? Oh, man. You should rock this in your sleigh.
I'm just getting ready for a hockey game.
You should slay this in your sleigh. Doesn't this sound like it could be on like the soundtrack for like NHL 99 or something?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh my. Nailed it.
Yeah, I'm just ready to jump on the ice. Let's go.
All right. Welcome back to another episode of On the Throne with Dick. And big shout out to Senjin Boychuk for that amazing intro outro music. I'm not going to say it. I promised myself I wouldn't say it. Congratulations on recently being married, I don't know how recently it has to be recent for, to say recently married, but it's been a few months now. And here we are, the first week of December. And, what better way to celebrate, the Christmas season than with jolly old Saint Nick, the tubby man himself, Santa.
Well, Mr. Frost, so good to be here. Really appreciate the time and all that you do for us.
Oh, I appreciate the time, man. It's your busiest time of year. You're getting ready, and just just a little over 20 days or under 20 days here, and you'll be sliding down people's chimneys with a sack full and, dropping off gifts here and there dropping off gifts anyway.
Yeah, well, no, I'm really looking forward to it. It's always fun to travel around and to deliver happiness and joy to everybody around the world.
Hell yeah, man. I love that. You've seen the movie Elf, right?
Oh, absolutely. One of my favorites.
Yeah, is Buddy real? Like, it's not just the dude played by Will Ferrell?
No. Buddy is 100% real.
Yeah.
One of my favorite dudes. It was kind of tough to get used to differences up at the North Pole, but fantastic character. I don't recommend putting maple syrup on your spaghetti. I tried it. Not a big fan. But I do like some sugar and especially cookies.
I don't know. I've been hearing that's not exactly all that true. Like you might have like a gluten allergy. Do you have gluten-free cookies now? I don't know. Like
I don't have gluten-free cookies. No, Mrs. Claus always tries to get kids to put out apples for me, but no, I love all types of cookies. The one thing I will say though is if somebody in the household is gluten-free, feel free to put out gluten-free cookies. I love to try new things. So if you have a favorite cookie, put that out there for me and I will absolutely try it.
Well, I have some cookies you might enjoy. They are special cookies. My wife and I recently discovered these gummy candies. They're really, really good. They might make your night feel a little better. I don't know. Like, how long does it take you to go from one end of the globe to the other?
Well, that's the magic of Christmas. It might.
They're magic cookies, all right.
Well, I would love to try a magic cookie.
I'll leave some out. I'll have my kids leave out the magic cookies.
Well, yeah, fantastic. A couple of years ago, someone left me out a brownie. I got a little distracted for a while, but it was fantastic.
Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah. What about are you open to something other than milk?
I am partial to milk. Now, if you want to put out a special drink for me, then you can put it out there. I do prefer milk though.
What about Red Bull or Monster?
Oh, that gets me going a little too fast.
Yeah. How about what about the reindeer?
We don't want to give them any gas because I have to be in the back of the sleigh, and no broccoli and no Red Bull for them because it makes things go a little awry, we'll say.
Could you imagine you're like flying through the air and that wasn't a bug that hit your face, that
there has been some instances of having to duck to miss some flying pellets.
Man,
Yeah.
can you? That'd be wild, dude. That would be like insane.
Well,
Like I've had to dodge my children's poop when they were younger, right? Like, and
exactly.
that didn't come out in pellets. That was like that was like cannons shooting against the wall.
You do have to have some flying technique and know how to maneuver to make sure that the sleigh is in the right position when those times, are required. Some children do like to leave out, um, you know, articles that might, look like chocolates, and then the reindeer might, have a rough night. But we try to avoid those as much as possible. And we leave special gifts for those families as well.
All right, all right.
Yeah.
So how long have? No, remember, I'm going based off the movies here. How
Yeah.
long have you been Santa for? Like Tim Allen fell off. Well, not Tim Allen. Santa fell off the roof, and Tim Allen became Santa. Right,
Right.
now, was there like a situation where you scared Santa and he fell and he died, and then you had to become Santa, or like have you just always been the guy?
No, the truth is, my father conned me into being Santa. He was Santa before me, and Mrs. Claus, wanted to go on vacation, and they wanted to travel to Mexico, and they decided it was my turn. Now they didn't tell me that. They said, Santa, do you want to, try an event or two, go meet some of the children? And I said, sure. And when they got back, I had the elves clean his suit, and he stepped back and said, I'm actually retiring. You take the suit, and they need a good Santa to deliver presents for the world. Don't let them down. And that's how it got transferred.
Well, at least you like kind of got to see him leave, right? My daddy went for milk, and that was just it. I was man of the house,
Yep.
Still waiting.
Yeah. I can actually still ring up, Santa Senior if I need to.
Still
we
kicking.
We have a lot of milk. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you got? Cows at home, or like a pasture, or what?
Yeah, there's lots of grocery stores, elf stores. We have a whole village up here, so we get our deliveries on the regular.
Nice. So it took Buddy the Elf like how many? Like 7 hours to walk through the candy cane forest and end up in New York City. Like,
Yeah.
if you were to come to Edmonton, like let's say my kids and other kids in Edmonton, Alberta, or Calgary, or anywhere in Alberta, really, like how long does it take to get from the North Pole to there?
Well, if I had to walk, it would probably take almost the same amount of time, a little bit less.
7 hours.
Yeah, if I had to walk.
Okay.
But there's still magic involved in the candy cane forest. But now with the sleigh, I could make it there in under 15 minutes. Yeah, it's not a WestJet situation where you have to guess. It's really a little bit of time. We don't have to de-ice, and the sleigh's never late. This sleigh's in the garage. The reindeer are all ready to go. We've been practicing lots. They like to play some tricks from time to time, but it's a pretty short flight, really.
Oh man. So okay, all right, that's pretty cool. I like that. So if you needed to be here, right? That's actually not that bad, because if you needed to be here to like make a mall appearance or whatever, or let's say I slid you a few Benjis to like come and talk my kids into behaving, talk some sense into them. You could be here in 15 minutes.
Yeah, wouldn't be that long. There's lots of times where families have emergencies that I need to drop in on. Have a little conversation, make a little appearance, and maybe some special favors for some people, and I'll be there.
What kind of special favors are we talking about here, Santa?
Well, I'll leave that one to your imagination.
Oh, I have a wild imagination.
No, I'm sure, and you would.
No, that's awesome, man. That's awesome. So how long has it been since you've been Santa then? Since you took over?
Time flies. I don't know how many years it's been. To be honest, after a few hundred, you lose count.
Yeah. Okay. I feel that. I feel that. It feels like I've been in the oil field for a few hundred years.
I can understand that too.
Oh, buddy, there's times where our Christmas tree and the Christmas trees we have at home are completely different. The rig could be a Christmas tree, the wellhead could be a Christmas tree. Um, there's usually not any presents under there. Mental health issues for sure. That's a gift. That's a gift from the boss, I suppose.
Yeah.
Being very underpaid, that could be a very sweet gift from the boss too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. How do I word that? You don't get paid in money from someone, right? You do it just purely for the joy and happiness of others.
Absolutely. Yeah. I deliver gifts to the world to try and spread as much Christmas cheer and as much goodwill to others that I can. And I don't get paid for any of my December 24th deliveries. That's for sure.
Okay. What about the rest of the year when you're making the toys and the elves are making the toys? Like there's money there, right? You make money there?
The money comes in. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Like
It's hard to explain how. I leave that up to Mrs. Claus. I'm kind of the face of the operation. Mrs. Claus is HR and the business, so she makes all the negotiations worldwide. And there has to be some resources to build the toys and for distribution, and have all the shipments come in and to keep the village going. But I'm not an economic major. I just eat the cookies.
Okay. Oh, I was gonna say, man, you'd have to have some money come. I don't know if you've seen the price of milk. I don't know what it is up in the North Pole, but I know inflation has to be hitting us all pretty hard, including up in the North Pole, right? Like you got to be bringing in the Benjis.
It does cost more to bring in the bagged milk, that's for sure.
Oh, the bagged milk, of course, of course. What, you don't have jugs up there? You don't have containers?
We have options. Santa is Canadian, so we get our milk distributed from across Canada, and some comes in jugs and some comes in bags. I think it's mostly the eastern part of Canada that still has the bags, and it is easier to deliver, over the ice roads or through the air. So we take whatever's most economical at the time.
Oh man, you know what? I like that common sense finances. I love it.
Yeah.
So, where is Mrs. Claus tonight?
Well, she's busy working.
Busy working.
She has a lot of items to take care of. There's HR issues with the elves and making sure that they're happy and that there are no issues on the production floor, as well as making sure that multiple things are working around the village. She likes to decorate. She might be decorating a new tree this year. I can't tell you how many trees. She does at least 4 or 5 a week, new Christmas trees decorating. So she's always coming up with different ideas. Maybe I'll ask her to do an oil rig, tree. I'll bring it up to her, see what she says, what kind of design she might come up with, or a magical cookie tree. We'll have to see.
Hell yeah, man. Are you sure she sounds like she's pretty busy for Mrs. Claus, who I've heard only makes cookies and stuff like that, right? Like makes a lot of cookies. She sounds like she's been pretty busy, spending a lot of late nights with the other elves in the shop. Have you been watching, paying attention there? You don't want you don't want like Happy or Sleazy to come in and get a little funky with Mrs. Claus.
I haven't seen anything so far, but I'll have to keep an eye out. There has been some later nights lately, and I'll see. I'll see what I can find out. Maybe a little covert operation.
So this means something completely different where I'm from.
It does?
Yeah. When you do the side thing with your nose like that.
Oh, well, we only have the icing sugar up here, so.
Oh, okay, that's good then. That's awesome, man. So, like, what has been some of the coldest conditions you've ever delivered in? Like, what what would you say has been like your worst night? Can you remember the worst times and the best times? And yeah,
Oh, the worst time was probably, and it's different around the world, but the worst time was probably 1756 when there was a very large storm around the world, and it seemed everywhere we went, it was a different storm. Up north, through the northern hemisphere, it was a snowstorm and a windstorm, and then through the middle, we had sand and we had palm trees blowing, and then in the south, it was dingoes and kangaroos. So you never know what you're going to end up with, but it can be crazy. One of the best times I think was probably the summer of '69. I mean, the winter of '69. That was a good year.
yeah, no, hey, 69 is usually a pretty good time, right? So
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, I wasn't around then. I was 20 years away from being born. So, I'm not quite as old as you. My dad was a couple years old, and I think that was 5 years after the Leafs last won the Stanley Cup.
Yeah. It's
No, wait, 2 years. 2 years after, sorry.
Did they actually win the Stanley Cup?
In 67, yeah. You've been around for all of them.
Yeah. Yeah. It's hard to remember the Leafs actually. Um, there's been some great hockey games, that's for sure. I remember going to some. You never know when you're going to see me, so always keep an eye out because I do like to take in a game here or there.
Who's your favorite team?
I can't say that I have a favorite team. I enjoy the game.
Enjoy the game.
I'm a defenseman myself, so I like to stop the cocky forwards and a little fancy footwork, take the puck away and shoot it up to the other end and see how we go. And maybe a slap shot or a one timer on the penalty kill, but I enjoy the game.
How many goals have you had over the course of your time?
Ooh, I think I'm about 72.
72. Well, I guess
Yeah.
it's been a couple 100 years. So
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I don't fancy myself a goal scorer, but I do like to. I more take pride in taking the puck away from those who wish to score on my goaltender, who is Dasher. Dasher is our goaltender. On the other side, Rudolph is the goaltender, and we like to
light him up.
Humble, yeah, exactly. Yeah, we like to keep that nose not red.
That's awesome, man. I love that. So, there's a lot of talk about after the Christmas season is over, Santa likes to, relax, put his feet up for a little bit and, go on vacation. Like, where do you usually go? What do you usually do after, the busy season's over?
Yeah, well, there's lots of places to go. Caribbean is one of my favorites. Australia can be nice. Hawaii is nice. I do like, this year we went to Disney World. We were there for quite a while and we enjoyed the rides. Tron ride just came out, so we experienced that, which it was a lot of fun and a lot of good eating there. So, love to travel around everywhere, really.
Nice. So
Yeah.
do you get recognized anywhere?
Oh, quite often. I try and hide. I've even tried to color my beard different colors, and
Tim Allen tried to cut it off, and it just kept growing back at a rapid pace, right?
It is a constant problem when you try and trim it. It's back before you know it. Especially if you sneeze, or anything could set it off, and poof, it's back. But I think it's one of those things. Kids are always going to recognize Santa, even if he tries to hide. It's part of the spirit. It's part of the whole love.
It's like a radar kind of thing.
It is. They know
Yeah.
as soon as they see me, they know it's me.
It's like working with ladies in the oil field, right? There's so many men here. When a lady walks in, you don't even have to see her. You can smell her, right? The kids, they're like, Santa's here, right? And that's nothing against the ladies of the oil field. We love you. We had a whole month dedicated to the ladies of the blue collar world on the podcast here. We love the ladies. We hey, equal opportunities for all, right?
Absolutely.
So you know, So it was kind of like, you know, they could smell. You could smell. You can't smell them. Oof, that's bad. They can smell you.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I like that. I like that. So like, do you also have like a little radar that goes off in your head, like when a kid walks into like an elevator or jumps into a pool, you're just like, you is it like a premonition, like a data bank of sorts, you know, like, oh, I know this kid and she's on the naughty list, or oh, he stole a bike this year, but he redeemed himself when he saved an old lady from getting hit by a car.
Yeah, well, it is very much like that. I can see it's kind of like a top 10,
Yeah. Do you
right?
have like a ball that you rub? Do you rub your balls to find, like, you know, Jesus, that's a bad way to word it.
No, I don't have to. I don't have to rub anything. I've got my portable tablet. It really tells me everything that I need to know, and you know, it lights up when the good kids are around. But I really just, you know, I can go off the top of my head most of the time. There are some special occasions where, you know, it's questionable. But to be honest with you, most kids, they're good kids.
That's
So
good.
they need to just be nudged in the right direction. And sometimes it's the parents that need the little tuning to know where to lead their children down the path.
Well, I can tell you, my wife's probably on the naughty list.
Congratulations.
Mrs. Frost. Let me tell you, boy.
Congratulations.
Yo, I want you to. Do you have anything you can Google anything with right now? Nearby?
Not sorry, not right now
Not right
actually.
now. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm. My wife wants for Christmas the accommodator. You need to look that up.
Okay.
We need to do that. Anyone that listened to the last episode will know what the accommodator is.
I will have to
Uh,
look it up.
yeah, yeah. It was. It's a toy that I want Mrs. Frost to have, and we're gonna have a good time. It's gonna be fun.
Sounds
So
good.
yeah, yeah. So like, I fear when I look at this thing and how it works, without saying too much, I fear for my jaw. Like, I don't want my jaw to break, and I don't want to have to be eating out of a straw.
Right. Got it.
Right. Other than that, the accommodator. It's on Amazon. You can Google it. I've looked it up. It's something I want Mrs. Frost to have for Christmas. She deserves it.
I will look. Maybe I'll get one for Mrs. Claus.
Mrs. Claus would probably like that. So, at your age, you guys are both a couple hundred years old.
Oh,
Do you still manage to get some good quality time in?
oh yes, Mrs. Claus and I love to have lots and lots of time together.
You don't need Cialis. You haven't had to talk to the doctor about Cialis or the Viagra or anything like that. Like, you're still good. You're not shooting dust. You're still
No,
good.
lots of hydration, exercise, and you know, motivation.
Motivation. How do you stay motivated at this age?
Um, you know, it's like with Mrs. Frost. You just have it.
That's fair. That's fair. I feel like it's because I'm away a lot, and you know, when I do come home, you know, like that car hasn't been turned on for a little bit, right? It's like a cold start, right? And when she goes, she goes. You know, so yeah.
You'll have to manage that for your longevity.
Absolutely. You know, I do a lot of like pre planning before I go home. There's a lot of pre-game stretching going on. There's a lot of I change the engine oil quite often. You know,
Good.
by myself. I don't seek the help of others for that. You know, I change it by myself. And then when I get home, you know, it's just bonus oil, just bonus engine oil. You know.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you
Yeah.
leave you know, a period of build up? You know, a few days before, just to.
I can tell you one thing. If there's a period, I don't care. But so face could come out looking redder than that suit right there, buddy. But no, I don't like to build it up at all actually. You know, I read somewhere, I used to, but I read somewhere that actually increases your risk of prostate cancer.
Oh, you don't
Yeah.
want that. You don't want that.
No, you gotta be changing that oil 3 to 4 times a week.
Oh,
right?
agreed.
Yeah,
Agreed.
that oil could turn toxic in the engine if you don't, right? And so like we work on that. We're it's a work in progress. There are times, you know, where I'm working sporadic hours and I fall asleep with it in my hand sometimes. The oil can, that is. I fall asleep with the oil can in my hand sometimes, and you know, I don't get to change the oil, but like when I get the chance, I change that oil.
Oh, good.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it is. It's a really good time. So, how long have you been on TikTok, and why? Why did you decide to join the TikTok?
Well, I joined TikTok, I think it was 3 years ago, might be a little bit longer. And I saw that some of my helpers were on, and some were doing a fantastic job and some were being selfish. So I wanted to join with Mrs. Claus and give an opportunity to have the children hear a story time from Santa, see, you know, some funny trends. My elves, they love to help Santa with the trending dances, or we're just gearing up for this year because we don't want to go through the whole year. We want to take that break and give other people a break as well. And you know, after Remembrance Day, look at what we can do to you know, entertain and have fun with it ourselves. Because if we're not having fun with it, then there's no point. So yeah, we just, it's, you know, I know some of my helpers have turned it into a business. That's, you know, we do not involve ourselves with any part of that for TikTok. So we just yeah, we're just here to try and spread some fun.
It's good. It's really good. So you got you got into it around like the time COVID started, right?
Just before, I think.
Just
Pretty sure
before?
it was just before. And yeah, so it must be almost 5 years now. It
Wow.
wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't long after TikTok became known or was created that, you know, that we jumped on. We were one of the you know, we were one of the first Christmas supporters, and yeah, I think it was just it was something to, you know, have fun with, and it worked out really well.
It's amazing.
Yeah,
It's amazing. I've been on it for 3 years, 3.5 years now. You know,
Yeah.
just grinding. You know, just grinding it out, trying to have fun, and you know, it was, you know, meant to take some of that mental load off from working away and in the hours and the schedule that I keep, right? And you know, I think it was 2 years ago now, maybe 2 years ago, where you followed me back.
yeah,
And
absolutely.
I was like, whoa, now I really got to watch what I say and do, you know, like I'm being censored by TikTok left, right, and center, Facebook. Now Santa's here, like, you know, the all seeing eye. And I'm like, you know what, maybe I could take advantage of that. And, you know, maybe I can get my kids to behave a little bit more. Santa's right here. I can show them that I know Santa.
Yeah. And I'm always here to support parents. And, you know, I do have the naughty list for a reason, because I meet some of my best friends there. But, you know, it was great to see your humor and your social media presence. And, you know, when I saw it, I was like, this is somebody I have to follow right away. So we had a lot of fun watching some of your videos. Yeah.
Yeah, I think you've come into my live a couple times. You've never gone live together.
No,
But,
we
like,
haven't gone live together.
Not yet. We should.
We could. I have to be very careful, because I do have my audience from around the world. So sometimes, you know, the humor that we share doesn't always share well with
Yeah.
with the
Yeah.
whole audience. So we just have to be careful on those times. That's all.
Yeah. Oh no. And on TikTok Live, you got to be a little bit more censored down, anyways, right? Like
Yes.
yeah. So no. When I go live, I have fun with it, but I try not to get too carried away.
Yeah.
And and I'm pretty good at reading the room. If it's
Yeah.
your audience, then it's like, hey, you know what? All right, let's settle it down a little bit, right?
Yeah. I think when I've joined yours, it's the same thing, and you've been very respectful, so I really appreciate that, and I think it's been fantastic.
Of course, man. Of course. So after work, how many hours do you put in during the day, during the busy season, building toys and getting things ready, and after before you've changed the oil yourself?
Yeah, I like to put in work hard, play hard. I like to put in a good hard 5 hours.
Good
And
5 hours,
then,
okay.
an afternoon nap in there,
Same.
and a good lunch. Yeah. So and really, I'm overseeing the newer cutting edge toys that the elves are putting out. Some of the long distance remote controls. One might say.
Oh.
Yeah. You see?
Oh, you got
Yeah.
those.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Add that
Absolutely.
to the list for Mrs. Frost.
Okay. We'll do. Mrs. Claus loves hers.
Oh, I bet, man. You can control that from your phone, can't you?
Yeah, exactly. And it just, it's kind of that. What was? I can't remember if it was AT&T or Verizon, but it was, reach out and touch somebody.
Reach
Right?
out and touch me. Yeah.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah,
Can
man.
you feel me now? Can you feel me now?
Can you feel me now? Good.
Yeah.
Man, yeah, I need to get one of those for Mrs. Frost, man.
Absolutely.
Man, maybe she needs to get one for me. Have you ever considered that for yourself?
I personally have not, but now that we're talking about it.
How long have you and Mrs. Claus been married for?
I think it's over 300 years.
300 years. Okay. 300 years and you've never explored that area, those options.
No.
Santa, listen to me, man.
There's so much else to do.
I tried something this summer with my wife. We've been together for 20 years, just about. Not quite 300. Sometimes it feels like it, I'm sure for her especially. But we've been together for 20 years almost, and we discovered something about each other this past summer. Like, I've been wanting to do it for a while, but I was afraid of pink eye, right?
Right.
And man, let me tell you, game changer, man. Like, Mrs. Frost went on the naughty list, but not on that kind of naughty list, Like, it was a good naughty list. Like, she ain't getting a lump of coal. She's getting a lump of something, but it ain't coal.
Well, like I said, congratulations. And it's always good to be a student.
It is. Man, she taught me some stuff for sure. Like, she had me banging erasers after class.
Keep learning.
Oh, man, telling you, get yourself you got yourself a good woman, but man, you got to nurture that thing. I don't think she'd be having these late nights away in the workshop with other elves or you. I'm sorry, I am assuming, but she maybe, just maybe you should be spending those later nights with you if you put some of these skills to work. There's some YouTube videos. Let me tell you, I'll recommend you some. I'll send you the links.
Okay. Sounds good.
And
I'll do some studying.
You probably already know this about my sister, but she was in some of these YouTube videos. I watched one by accident first time.
That must have been shocking.
Well, my wife accidentally sent me the link. Well, not accidentally. My wife sent me the link on purpose. Right?
There you go.
Yeah, I thought I woke up the next morning in camp and I'm like, my wife's sending me some of the XXX stuff, right? Like, yeah, she's being Kiki. All right, all right. And then I opened it, I watched it, and I'm like, near the end, I'm like, I noticed, I know that guy. That guy looks familiar. And I'm like, no, I know that guy. And then I saw my sister, and I was like, so deflated. I was like, no. My wife's like, hey, if I had to see it, so did you.
Yeah, well, she shares.
Hey, sharing is caring, right? And I don't know if this was like this growing up in your household, but sometimes it's easier to go down the hall than it is across the street.
Well, luckily I didn't have any sisters.
No, all brothers?
Yeah.
I mean, hey, if you cut yourself off to one whole gender, that's 50% of the world's love you're missing out on, buddy.
Well, we all make our choices.
Absolutely, we do, man. Absolutely. So, where I was going with that at the beginning, right? Like you work those hard 5 hours a day, and you do all this other stuff. Do you like to settle down with what's your drink of choice? Like, and I'm not talking milk here, unless it's spiked eggnog. But like, what's your drink of choice afterwards? Do you like to sit down and enjoy like a ice cold brew? And you're Canadian, so none of that watered down shit, right?
Well, I totally respect it, but to be actually honest, it would only be Coca-Cola.
Yeah. I kind of.
I didn't ever get a flavor for it. And I know I'm disappointing some of my brothers right now, but
No.
I tried a good cognac. I tried a good single malt, and they're really nice. But, honestly, for Santa, if it's not milk, it's a Coke.
Hey, man, you know what? Have you ever tried mixing that Coke with like, I don't know, Crown Royal?
Crown, yeah. I tried Di Serono for some.
That's my drink.
Some amaretto, and it's nice. But yeah, I'm still just a Coke kind of guy. No, Mrs. Claus likes her wine.
Are any of the elves into Coke?
I don't know. When it comes time to the after parties, there's a lot of snow flying.
Yeah, absolutely. But like, you can't work all those hours and spend that much time, laboring, and there not be like a Coke party, right? Like, you see the polar bears doing it.
I haven't seen it, but
it's good.
I have heard stories.
You've heard stories. Nice. So, has there ever been like? Do you have all male elves, or are there female elves, or is there is it a co-op or what?
It's a mix. We are almost 50-50 male female elves.
Nice. Has there been any workplace harassments, or has there been any like, hey, we got some baby elves on the way? Like, how do you repopulate the elf population? I don't know how that works.
There's always baby elves on the way. Yeah, I think before Christmas we probably have about 10 or 15 baby elves planned to be born. But up here there's not really any harassment. It's pretty much everyone's on the same page. They all just like to get along.
I like it. It's like being in camp.
Exactly.
I love it.
When you're in the village, it stays in the village.
Have you ever found yourself like staring at one of the like 2-3 foot 5 elves and being like, hey, I would.
Well, we have a 3-second rule, so you kind of, keep your eyes forward.
So you can only look for 3 seconds. You can like take a glance and then look away.
Yeah.
But what if? Okay, so you glance, you look away, you glance back. Just 3 second increments, or just one?
No, by then you're gone. We're so busy. We're running to the next snowball fight.
Okay. All right. I feel this. This is good. I like that. It keeps you guys honest, right?
Yeah. That's exactly.
Good. I don't think Mrs. Claus has that the 3 second rule, but
Well, she's the one that made it up. I think it was just for me, but
yeah, of course, yeah. Hey, I got a question for you, bud. Do you know what viscosity is?
Yes.
Okay, what's viscosity to you?
Well, often, on special sleighs that I have, we need a low viscosity to make sure that our seals, our door seals, are plumped up just right, or sunroofs. I don't just have one sleigh, right? I've
Of
got
course, you
lots
got to
of
have a backup sleigh. Of course, of course.
backup sleighs. I've got to have off-road sleighs. I've got to have water sleighs. So, when you have a higher viscosity, when you're metal on metal, really grinding away, you want it to be a little bit, more protective, we'll say.
Of course, of course. All right. So the reason why I'm asking, the podcast is sponsored by the Mudman. And, he deals in viscosity on the rigs, the viscosity of fluid, the viscosity of the load, the thickness of your load.
Right.
Right. The thickness of when you got to change that oil, right?
Yeah.
Is your oil viscous or not? So the Mudman, www.mudmanmarket.com for all your drilling fluid and laboratory testing equipment needs. How thick is your load, Santa?
I don't know if I'm different from everybody else, but some days it's low, some days it's high. It really depends if I'm on a milk or a mocha diet at the time. It can really change. Yeah.
You know who Maddie Feeds People is, don't you?
I don't know if I do.
I can't remember his last name. You probably, of course you know him, right?
I know, but I don't know everyone's monikers.
TikTok can't. Yeah. So it's Maddie Feeds People. I think he lives up in Vancouver Island somewhere. And he's the Eat Your Colors guy. Now, that's not exactly how you would think it would mean, but he's an Eat Your Colors guy, and, the battery acid. You don't let your woman swallow battery acid. Eat better, right?
Right.
Do your lady a favor, right? So, we got to get the viscosity of what she's swallowing a little less, right? It can't be a high viscosity because, wow, look at that. I just did a shameless plug of two people and one little thing there, man. Look at that.
That's perfect. Like I tried pineapple once, but
and you
for
didn't
like a month.
And you didn't like the taste of your shit, or what? Because dogs don't like the taste of their own poop after you feed them pineapple.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't try that, but others said there wasn't really a noticeable change. So it would be nice to have some options.
In your poop, they didn't notice the difference in your poop, or
no, the viscosity of the other.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So I don't know if you've never tried this. Okay, like I've never tried it either, to be honest with you. I just know dogs don't like it.
Yeah,
right. I've seen. Do you have dogs?
I do.
What kind of dogs do you have?
Well, we have guard dogs up here at the North Pole.
Yep.
They are Russian Ovcharkas.
Russian Ovcharkas. So you're pretty close to Russia, right? Did you get them off of Russia? Did you go to Russia?
Yeah, we had a breeder in Russia who let us borrow one to see how they would protect.
Oh, you don't want to borrow shit off Russia. Look at that. Didn't work out well for Crimea.
Well, no, it didn't.
No.
But we had a deal worked out, and they're happy. They're very happy with the contract that
I'm sure they were happy about the last time too, but it was only 40 some odd years later they came back for it, right? So hey, careful with those dogs, buddy. You don't want no invasion landing in your house to take your dogs away.
No, we don't. That's for sure. But it's been over 100 years. We've had quite a few. Yeah.
The dogs.
Dogs. Yeah, Jero's around here somewhere. But if you Google them, they're an impressive protector. Yeah, they keep the polar bears back, and the polar bears are always after the candy canes. They break into the candy cane shop all the time. But ever since we've had these guys, no problems and no reindeer losses or anything. So, yeah.
There you go. That's awesome, man. So I got a really important question, and it might be a little deep.
Yeah.
So you're constantly looking after other people and constantly getting things for others, and how are you today, little boy, little girl, right? Hey, what do you want for Christmas?
Yep.
Does anybody ever think of what Santa wants? Does anyone ever be like, hey, what do you want?
You know, every once in a while there is. And I have to say those get an extra star beside their name for the Christmas time. But every once in a while, and it's probably around 1% that that ask Santa. But you know, I do have Mrs. Claus to take care of me, and she takes very good care.
What's your favorite gift that Mrs. Claus has ever gotten you?
Really, it's we only give each other time. So.
Oh, that is beautiful, man. That is truly beautiful. Do you know what I want for Christmas this year?
What do you want?
Manscape.
Oh.
Manscape, right? Like, I want to be able to go home for the first time. It's to trim my mustache as well. The wife doesn't like
Yep.
when the mustache is long and thick. She doesn't like the mustache when it's full of viscousness.
Right.
When it's viscous,
Yeah.
right? So she likes it trimmed up. She likes it trimmed up when I come home, and she doesn't like the hairs in her mouth. And most of the time, I can't do that for her. But if I had a Manscape, right, I could make sure that the mustache is trimmed on both sides of the equator. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think we can bring your Christmas to a peak.
A peak. You can make this Christmas erect with happiness.
That's right.
I love it. I love it.
It will
amazing.
it will stand out.
Oh, damn. Well, at least it won't be hard to get through this one.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There will be no barriers to the base.
No berries. Well, at least there'll be berries.
That's true.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
There won't be a bird's nest of trouble to get through.
No, exactly. And that's important because you really want the full pendulum swing to come through.
That's right. That is Santa, you get it, man. Like I didn't think Santa would be this cool.
Well, I appreciate that.
I never thought Santa would be like this cool of a guy. I always thought he'd be like, I always thought he'd be like, well, you've met him. How is Jesus? And
well, he's a fantastic guy as well. I think when it comes down to it, everyone tries to make us two-dimensional. But really, we're so much more.
It's like I was 3D printed. That's what's gonna happen with a Manscaped. When I get home, she's gonna be like, damn, did you take a 3D printer to that thing or what?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, man, I love that, dude. I love that. So what do you want for Christmas, Santa?
What do
I'm
I
only
want?
doing this for an extra star. You said I get a star. So.
That's absolutely right. That's absolutely right. You know what I want for Christmas is I want everyone to put others first.
Yep. I just want to be able to afford chicken again.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what we can do there, but it's going to let's just say change directions. If you know what
Santa, can you deliver those kind of Christmas presents?
Well, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. I've got some people on the, working.
You are cool. Like, man, I had no idea. Do you guys hold elections up in the North Pole?
We don't have too many elections. We do have, a wide range on our ELF board to bring concerns to everyone involved. I often fall asleep, but Mrs. Claus makes sure that those run smoothly.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, man. No, that's awesome, dude.
Yeah.
I love that. So, like, the elves, there's no infighting with the elves. You don't need to have elections with them. Like, who's head elf this time and who's the assistant to the assistant elf and,
Yeah, no, we don't really have any fights with that. Everyone kind of knows where they are best suited and what their best skills are.
Yeah.
To be able to ensure that we deliver Christmas.
Are you guys a union? Are the elves in a union or what?
No, they're not. They talked about being unionized, but then when the elves talked about what they would have to give up monthly to some governing body, they said, no, that's okay. We've got it fine.
But okay. So do you give them really good benefits then?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
They've got massages and chiropractors and um, healthcare and
Is it free
everything.
healthcare?
It is free healthcare. Yeah,
No way.
yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
Okay. Well, you guys are Canadian after all, right? So
Yeah, and we don't even have to worry about timelines because we actually have enough doctors.
stop it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We
Stop.
have elf doctors, right? So, we make sure that we have enough in the group to take care of our population. Yeah.
That's cool. How many elves? Speaking of population, how many elves do you have in the North Pole? Like how many elves or I guess how many elves can the North Pole hold?
Well, our crush capacity is what we call it is around 5,000, but we never get anywhere near there. Right now we're at 2,753. And of course we're looking at 12 to 25 elves before Christmas or just after. So yeah, we'll see.
That's awesome, man. That's really cool. That's really awesome.
Yeah.
So, what kind of things do the benefits cover? Do they get like chiro and
Yeah.
massages?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, my
Yeah.
massages actually cover happy endings. So, and don't ask how I know that.
Oh, well, that you'd have to have a special invoicing package for that.
Oh, I bet you'd have to have a special package for that. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, damn, dude. So, what about you? Do you benefit from these benefits at all? Like,
Oh yeah, I
what do
get
you, what do you
I get what all the elves get as well. All the
like? You don't
benefits.
get better. Like, you don't have better benefits than them. It's
No.
equal all around.
Yeah, it's equal all around. Yeah.
Damn, that's
I
good, man.
I haven't found that it's been needed to be any more or anything. So if I felt like I needed more, then we would give the same to the elves.
Hell yeah, I love that,
Yeah.
man. I love that. Hey, so I don't know if you have seen this stuff around Dirty Hands Clean Money before.
I haven't seen that one, but I'm gonna have to get one.
Dude, merch link in bio, bro.
Yeah, will do.
Use code Frost10 for 10% off.
Perfect.
Yeah, yeah, man. It's been amazing. I just got this affiliation here. Through Dirty Hands Clean Money Troll Clothing Co. It's been a good time. I've seen them around forever. I've had some of their clothes, and I'm like, how do I get in with those guys, right? Hey, do me a favor.
Yeah.
Can you wish okay, how do I word that? Can you wish all the hardworking men and women of the Troll Clothing fam a happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and a Happy New Year, and say thanks for working hard all year, or whatever.
Do it one more time.
Can you wish the hardworking men and women of the Troll Clothing fam Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year?
Okay, ready? Ho, 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 ho. Merry Christmas, all you hardworking men and women of the Troll merchandise and clothing fam. Thank you so much for everything you do, and Merry Christmas. Ho, 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 ho.
Hell yeah, man. Dude, they're going to love that. They're going to love it. They're just going to... Dude, I appreciate that.
No, not a problem. I see the hat and the hoodie. I love me a bunny hug. So they're fantastic by the fire with a little hot cup of cocoa and and a little bit extra spice.
Hell yeah, man. That's man. This is great. This sweater here, dude, like you need to get one of these. Like they're
quality.
It's quality.
Quality.
And it is so warm. Like the one night it was like minus 15 or whatever. I didn't have a t-shirt underneath. I just had the sweater on. It was warm. Look, check this out, right?
Yeah.
Like this is built into it.
Is that built in?
That's built into it.
Oh, that's a good little ad.
It's built into it. Look at that.
Nice.
See that?
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Perfect. There's times where I have to be careful because if I'm out in the cold, like it's not minus 15, we're talking minus 40, 45. If I'm not careful, I'll break a mustache off.
I've been there, dude. How do you think I got the name Dick Frost? And it
Right?
wasn't because the dick was frosty. You know what I mean? It was. Yeah, well, part of the reason why, but it was the polar vortex in like 2019. So then my name actually supersedes TikTok,
Right.
and so it was 2019, I believe it was 2018, even maybe, and it was minus 48 outside, and I was steaming. I work on a vac truck, and I was steaming wellheads, and super cold, super windy, and I had to stand downwind from the steam because there were two consultants that were standing upwind, and I couldn't get them. So I had to take it all. And I had my rain gear on, and I was taking all the steam. It was minus 48. And I had a 3-inch layer of ice on my hard hat, icicles hanging from my glasses. My mustache was like just an icicle. And then my raincoat actually was so frozen I couldn't unzip it. I had to take it off over my head, and it stood up on its own.
Nice.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was a wild time, and that was the birth of Dick Frost.
That's
Yeah, man.
you need to get the whole story out there.
Well,
You need
I've
to get
put
on
it out a couple times. I put it
Yeah.
out a couple times.
Well, yeah, but we need a more formal.
I did make a video on TikTok once where it's like, how did I get the name, you ask? And then I'm like, well, and then I walked like into this big snowbank, and I started teabagging the snow. Right? And it's like, that's how I got the name Dick Frost, And oh yeah, I know that was good.
There's a gooder.
Yeah, man, it was pretty good, man.
Yeah.
I'm not going to take up too much more of your time unless
Yeah, my elves are bugging me. They want
Yeah.
me to come watch a movie. So,
what movie are you gonna watch?
I have no idea. I think it might be one of the new Santa Clauses on Disney. I hear it's not the best, but we'll
Is it
see.
rated R?
No.
You better
It's
hope
just-
there's no triple R rated movie in there involving Mrs. Claus. Them elves are naughty.
I'll have to keep an eye for that one too.
Yes, sir.
Send
I
me the
got
link.
oh, what, to my sisters or Mrs. Claus?
Well, maybe whichever you find.
Okay. So I got one more question for you there, buddy, and
Yeah.
it stumps a lot of people. So Mount Rushmore has 4 of the most influential people in history up on Mount Rushmore, right?
Well, American history.
Hey, I say that all the time, man. Oh shit, I'm not the only one. Okay. If you could have a Mount Rushmore of your own, 4 people that you look up to and admire or inspire to be, who would they be and why?
Who would they be and why? That's
Yeah.
a good one. I would actually say Jesus first.
Jesus.
Then I would say probably that's where you see I always get into a tough, do I want to continue with the intellectual spiritual side, or do I want to go art and creative side? Because there's so many great minds like Shakespeare and Mozart, but I'd probably go Jesus, Gandhi, Muhammad, and for me, Shakespeare.
Okay, why those 4 people?
There's a lot of in the first 3, there's a lot of giving, and if people actually understand the first 3,
Hey, and with Mary Magdalene up by his side, there was a lot of taking too. You know what I mean?
Well, it's about love.
Okay.
It's about love. So that's important for me, is love. And then the last one, I just find a lot of artistic beauty.
Autistic beauty?
Artistic.
Oh,
art.
okay. Sorry, I misunderstood you there for a
That's
second.
fine. I can understand.
Okay, that's beautiful, man.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. Man, this has been a lot of fun, man. And thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule. I know it's the beginning of December and things are, starting to ramp up or are ramped up. And you're busy, you're getting all the things and stuff done for the long winter's flight, and you're got to get those elves got to get the whip cracking on those elves. Got to get the reindeer in shape so you can whip them. Hey, speaking of whips,
Yeah.
right? Do you and Mrs. Claus ever use those whips in the off season?
Well, maybe from time to time.
Nah, I knew it. Hey, one night a year they're whipping Rudolph's back. The other nights of the year, Mrs. Claus's back is all right, eh? Or is it your back?
Might be both.
Woo-hoo. Damn. I love that, man. I love that. Man, I appreciate you coming on. This has been a lot of fun, man. And I can't wait. I can't wait to share this with people. I can't wait for it to come out, and people, get to know Santa Claus a little bit.
Looking forward.
Looking
forward to deliver all the special requests under the mistletoe.
Hell yeah, man. A lot of people don't believe in you, right?
Well,
and that's gotta be hard on the mental health, man. My dad didn't believe in me, man, and that hurt.
I'm sorry to hear that, but those they just, for me, they miss out because
Yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely. I hear that. Buddy, I love you, dude. You're amazing.
Much love, brother.
Oh, you love me too?
Absolutely. I'm here for it anytime.
Father Christmas. At least one dad loves me.
That's right.
I love that. Hey, where can we find you on the socials before we go? I forgot to ask that. I said you were on TikTok, but I didn't say where. So
all the socials, it's just Santa Claus is Canadian.
All right. And where can they find you? Like what
TikTok,
socials?
Instagram, and Facebook.
TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook, buddy. There you guys have it. Santa Claus is Canadian. You heard it here first. America, you can't have that. Back off. That's right. So there we go, guys. Santa Claus is Canadian on all the socials. You can find him over there. And Santa, you stay frosty.
You too. Much love.
Get those jingle balls. Jingle those balls. I don't know. I ruined it. Okay, bye. Good night. Have a good one.